How's the hanging fellas? I'm OrosZ and this is another episode of Bit.Trip Runner. In today's episode we're going to go through the entirety of Zone 2, which as you can see by the video's length actually took me less than the Zone 1. I think Zone 2 is actually way easier than the first one for some reason, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, that the boss fight at the end is a bit more difficult. This place seems to be themed around mines. As you can see, there's like mine carts in the back. There's trampoline guys. I guess they're mining pixels here. That's where they come from. And yeah, so it's second episode. What else to say? Again, I'm not playing the game right now. I'm just doing the commentary. Again, I can't actually hear the game. I could do it where I hear the game and record commentary at the same time, but I would have to find a cable for it. I don't fucking feel like doing that, and I'm like, it's not like this game has some deep dialogue I need to pay attention to understand what the fuck's going on. It just gets cool music, that's it. I can live without cool music. If I had to sacrifice some form of media in my life, I think I would probably sacrifice books. And then music, I guess. Or I guess, I don't know, art. It's like paintings and shit, like sculptures, that's form of media? I don't think that's form of media. Because when you refer to media, you refer to something like... Well, I don't know how I would define media, but for some reason something tells me that art, such as paintings and sculptures, don't fall into that category. I feel like what falls into the category of media is music, movies, games, and books, including comic books, which I never been too big on, since we're already talking about it. Comic books. It's like a stereotype that boys are always into comic books, but I never really cared about them. Outside of those Cartoon Network themed magazines, those with comic books inside, and I would buy them. I didn't have any subscription, it's just that if I happened to be at a store and they had a new Cartoon Network magazine, I would pick one up. Mainly because they had toys inside, but even without them, they were still pretty cool. Kinda miss stuff like that, you know? When I had to physically buy shit, I like physical stuff. Like, I still like to buy video games physically every once in a while. Most of the time, that's kind of how I buy video games. Whenever I buy a physical game, it's probably something that just came out, it's a new game, and I bought it physically to have it on my shelf. Because, funny enough, physical media, even though you're buying a physical thing, is most of the time actually cheaper than buying digital media, because when you buy something digitally, you can pretty much, unless you're on PC, you can like, let's say on console, like me on PlayStation, I can only buy it from the PlayStation Store. There's no extras, third-party sources, like GOG or something for me to buy games from on PlayStation. I have to buy them from PlayStation Store. And I have a rule that I follow in my life, that I only buy video games if they're on a discount that's more than 50%. Like, I don't buy anything full price unless... some exceptions. I did hit some exceptions. I think I bought Watam, which is a game I mentioned, I think last episode, for full price, and it was digital, because getting the physical version of that game was rather difficult, so I never did. Speaking of getting physical versions of games, I was recently trying to get my hands on Dead or Alive Extreme 3. I really want to play that game. And I made a gameplay and such out of it, but I kind of cheated by getting a Japanese account and I just bought a demo of the game. But I wanted the full fucking game. But it turns out this game is banned outside of Asia. So that's great. So I was like, well, that's a minor inconvenience. I'll just find it somewhere from an Asian source. It's not like I never bought anything from China. Yeah, but then it turns out that it's also kind of rather difficult to get. Now here's the deal, it isn't that difficult to get, but the version that I wanted, which is the Chinese version, because the Chinese version for some reason also is the only version of the game that is in English. Like, I could buy the Japanese version, but then it would come only in Japanese. I don't speak Japanese, can't read it either, so I would have quite a problem. Sure, I would have the full game, but I wouldn't know what the fuck's going on and what I'm doing. Not that Dead or Alive Extreme Freeze plot is that important, but I would like to at least know what the fuck are all the prompts for. That'd be nice. And you have to get the Chinese version. Now the Chinese version, because it's in English, it's a lot more expensive than the Japanese or the Korean one. And getting that one is rather difficult. I had one somewhere on eBay that I kind of kept in the back of my head, like in my favorites tab on my internet browser. And I was like, if I have some more money to spend, I'll buy this. And I recently thought that, I haven't really bought anything for myself in a long fucking time. I might as well get this game, since who knows if it will still be available. And, well, it wasn't anymore. Same fucking deal goes with this like really cool store that I had where there were like bomber jackets. I don't know why, but I'm recently really into bomber jackets. And they had these really fucking cool looking ones. But they were expensive because they were like, I don't know, some kind of premium fucking British store. I wanted to get them. But, well, by the time I, have some money now and want to spend it on some cool shit, well, they're not available anymore. There is this really fucking cool bomber jacket which is themed around Torg from Borderlands. As in the weapon manufacturer. It's so fucking cool, but it costs like $170 fucking dollars. Are you fucking kidding me for a jacket? That's fucking insane. I recently bought my... Well, I only have 2 bomber jackets because I'm not that fucking obsessed with them. But the recent one was only 20 bucks. That's a lot more reasonable price than 170. Also, I got this drink here. It's a Tiger. 0% caffeine placebo classic. I don't know what the fuck placebo classic means. Sounds fucking strange. But fuck it, I'll try it. It seemed like a new drink I haven't had before. It's alright. Tastes like this fucking default one. Nothing too special, or exciting, or thrilling. Also, today is Women's Day, and I realized that while I was going back from work, that I could swing by a store and buy my mom some flowers. And I did, but by the time I got to the store, all the flowers they had available were really like withered and ugly looking, so I bought the least ugly looking ones. Which doesn't say much, because they were still kind of ugly. Unfortunately. But then we went to a store and I actually bought her a silver necklace. Now that's a lot fucking cooler than some shitty ass flowers. Flowers are nice, but they'll wither away. Silver, on the other hand, will not. Also, I got some kind of discount because I bought 2 items. I also bought the item as a birthday gift for my friend. Yeah, I was talking about something else before. Oh yeah, that's one thing I wanted to mention in the last episode, but I kind of forgot about it, is Sonic Prime. The plot of it finally started to get a little bit interesting, because now all those evil Eggmans from that alternative future reality are hopping between the realities themselves. I think it's because Nine, or whatever the fuck his name was, somehow figured out how to make a plane that travels between dimensions using that fucking paradox crystal. And now Eggmans, because there's multiple of them, got their hands on it. They should have included Eggman Nega. I don't know why the fuck they haven't done that. Really risky name, if you ask me. It's like the Nega Chin. Fairly Odd Parents. Never liked that cartoon very much as a kid. I thought it was annoying. And the premise was strange. And the art style was kind of ugly. Never liked it. Overall, with Nickelodeon cartoons, I pretty much just liked SpongeBob, and that was it. I didn't really like any other ones. Oh, Rugrats was cool. I'm going off topic. I was talking about something completely different. What brought me to the subject of cartoons? Oh no, I forgot. Oh yeah, Sonic Prime, because it's a cartoon. Yeah, so... yeah, I was talking about Nega Chin and Eggman Nega. And fuck did I wanted to mention with that? Oh, they could have included Blaze in this show too, because she's from a different reality. From I think it's called Soul Universe, where she's the princess of it. Until they retconned that in Sonic 06, and she was just like a, I don't know, normal resident of the future for some fucking reason. There's a theory going on. That's kind of interesting, that Blaze isn't actually physically in Sonic 06. I mean, physically, maybe she is, but the only person she ever interacts with, or I guess I should have said Hedgehog, is Silver. She never talks to anybody else through that entire game. She only interacts with Silver, which a lot of people say, or think, perhaps Blaze in Sonic 06 is some kind of a manifestation of Silver's loneliness, because there was nobody to help him in the future. So Blaze kind of manifested herself into the future. That was a fucking cheap shot. They just fucking shot me with an orange projectile right off the bat. That's fucking mean. Fucking projectiles, man. Yeah, and now they're in a pirate reality, and I thought this was gonna be like, oh my god, that's the 3 time periods you could think of: future, cavemen, and pirates. What's next? Fucking cowboys? That's the fucking historical periods throughout the world, right? Cowboys, pirates, knights, cavemen, ancient Egypt, maybe, ancient Greece, I don't fucking know, and Renaissance, maybe. Include that too. I forgot what I wanted to say. Oh yeah, so they're in a pirate world now. The world seems to have been flooded. I'm not sure if it happened because some kind of disaster that they were present for, or was it just always flooded because Sonic notices how this like a loop that's originally part of his world is now underwater. So it seems like the world has been flooded, and the captain of the ship he ends up is actually Knuckles. So there's Captain Knuckles. I think they call him Captain Terror or something. And he has a crew consisting of Rouge, Amy, Tails, and Big. Pretty dope crew. And except for Big. I don't know why the fuck they I don't know why the fuck they dragged him into this fucking show. He never is important to the plot, and he just fucking sucks ass. I hate him. Why the fuck him of all people? They could have anybody else, but no. It's fucking Big the Cat. That's one's favorite character. I think I'm like fucking up a lot. If you see me do some kind of like slides a lot, I probably started to get a little bit frustrated with this shit. And what the fuck I was saying? Yeah, I think the plot is pretty cool with the Knuckles. At first seems like an evil pirate, like they're gonna be mean and gonna rob some people. But then Knuckles throws a party for Sonic, and Sonic is all about it. But then Knuckles just wants to party for some reason, and Sonic like wants to find the crystal already. Doesn't want to party forever, and Knuckles doesn't like that, which is, you know, unlike Knuckles, if he doesn't like parties, I guess. So he reveals the backstory, how he used to be a captain of a different crew now that they're rival with, and he was chasing after the Paradox Crystal, only for that crystal to kind of fuck him up in the end, and he fucked up his ship. It sunk, and his crew left him. And then his crew left him, and he fucking was alone. He got a new crew, but now he's afraid of, I don't know, going out on adventures, I guess, because last time he went on an adventure, it fucking went really bad. So they were really pissed off, and Knuckles didn't even have anything against his crew declaring Sonic the new captain. He was just like, sure, why not? I guess he's aware of how shitty of a captain he is. He decided Sonic might as well be the captain now. And then Eggman shows up in a cool submarine. I mean, Rusty Rose shows up, the evil Amy from the future. This level's fucking difficult. Look at this fucking shit I have to pull off. I'm about to fucking lose my eyesight just looking at this shit. There wasn't oh fuck, I missed like every single piece of gold. Except for one. There was one more thing. Yeah, there was one more episode before that, though. I think. Right? Yeah, there was an episode in the future where... that was the episode before this one that I just described. Where I think Nines showed up during the fight against all the Eggmen, and then he drags Sonic into like a complete, like a different reality that just simply doesn't have anything in it. It's just like an empty planet with some weird structures, like some weird mountains and shit. And he's like, let's build society here. Let's fucking, I guess, reproduce, you and me, Sonic. And Sonic doesn't like that idea because he'd rather save the people he already met and then go back to his own reality than make a fucking new one and just simply escape. Nines doesn't like that idea very much because he doesn't fucking give a shit about his own reality because, well, he's always an outcast and nobody liked him. So now he's an edgelord. Aw, one less. That sucks. And yeah, I think he does understand Sonic though, and actually does allow him to use his ship to go into a different reality where Sonic ends up in the pirate world. I told the episodes out of order. My mistake. Also, something that's kind of neat about the show, but I feel like it's kind of whatever, is that supposedly in every reality where Sonic ends up, his shoes gain like a different power. Because his shoes were like, I don't know, fucking combined with the energy of the crystals and now they can sense them. And also gain different powers depending on which world he's in. For example, in the caveman world, he had Wolverine powers, where he basically had claws on his hands now. Like a fucking real hedgehog. And not only that, but he also had claws on his feet. Also like a real hedgehog, so they have claws. They're little stupid spiky balls. They eat their own children because they're fucking wild animals that don't give a shit about parenthood. Like, you know, a hedgehog gave birth, looks behind, free food. Some fucking little maggots. Probably doesn't even recognize that it's its own children. Doesn't have a parental instinct to take care of those little things. Makes you wonder, how the fuck do hedgehogs even grow up if their parents want to fucking kill them? It's fucked up. And the fuck am I talking about? Oh yeah, in the pirate world he had like a really cool hover move, which just looks like Shadow's ability. And also in the future world, his shoes, I don't think they actually had anything significant. They did hit something, but it was kind of lame, and I couldn't even fucking remember what it was. Yeah, and also I'm still not sure about the significance of including Shadow in the story, because so far Shadow has done, this level is fucking difficult, I keep failing it. I love the gears in the back with faces, and that stupid fucking tree. And those clouds with mustaches, it reminds me of Little Big Planet, where they would put like dumb faces on everything. Especially the first game. First game has this like really cool charm because the levels in the first game are made in the in-game level creator, and they look really shitty compared to like the sequels. So you can kind of imagine that like the entire campaign of the first Little Big Planet game looks like anybody could have fucking made it using the in-game level creator. But no, it's an official campaign, and there's also a Metal Gear themed one, which is crazy. Little Big Planet 2's campaign, on the other hand, was a lot fucking better. If I recall correctly, never played any of the DLCs. Also PS Vita, Little Big Planet PS Vita is actually very underrated in my opinion. The main story is really fucking cool. And I think once I get to the PS3 recording thing, which I don't know if I ever will, but I would really like to do that, well, we could play Little Big Planet 1 and 2 because I actually still have those games sitting on my shelf. Haven't played them in ages. Grand Theft Auto 4 also sits on my shelf. I actually turned it on at some point just to see if I still have a save file. And funny enough, I still had a save file. But it was a save file from a game where I guess started playing through the game again, but I never finished it, so I was like on the second island. The like smaller one, because Grand Theft Auto 4 has like 4 islands. There's the main one, Portland, the first one, not the main one. And there's like a secondary Portland that looks just as shitty, but it's like slightly smaller. That's where like that girl was, like rapper missions. I think that's also where you meet Johnny for the first time. And I don't fucking know, whatever. Staunton Island. That's the, I think the third one is Staunton Island. The second one, the one that's like the main New York themed place. It's like the fucking Times Square and everything. I think that was called, or is that Staunton Island? And the third one was called something. And the third one was called something different. The second one is called Staunton Island. The third one, I don't remember what it was called, but I remember that one is the shittiest one because it's fucking uninteresting. There's nothing memorable about it. First island, yeah, it sucks, but at least it's memorable because you spent a lot of time there, especially at the beginning. And then the fourth one is just like a fucking major downgrade from the epic fucking third island you get. Why would you ever want to hang out on a shitty island like the fourth one? Even the hideout you get at the fourth island is garbage. It's like a shitty fucking rundown apartment in some fucking whatever alleyway. Kind of appreciate that about Liberty City though. Like, I hope if we ever get to like well, I guess some people say, oh, I think this is the boss fight. I think people say how Grand Theft Auto 6 is supposedly boss. That's the one with a treadmill. There's like a silly computer guy sitting in a bucket, fucking in a bucket, and there's a miner who shoots out fireballs, and he's really fucked up. At least he could give like warnings as to where the fireballs are gonna come from, but he doesn't. What an asshole. What a jackass. And the fuck else I meant? Talking about Grand Theft Auto 4. I mean just Grand Theft Auto in general. That if the sixth one is genuinely, I don't think it is gonna. I think it's gonna take place mainly on Vice City. But like a lot of reports said, it also may take place outside of America, like in Cuba and shit. Because it's gonna be probably very Scarface inspired. I have a theory where I think the Grand Theft Auto 6 story is gonna be very inspired by, not Thelma and Louise, by that fucking other movie with a duo that dies at the end. Actually, movie, it was a real event. Bonnie and Clyde, that's it. Except it's gonna be like Florida, a version of Bonnie and Clyde instead of whatever they actually operated. Because you play as a girl, her name's Lucia, and you play as a guy whose name is, I think, Jason? Pretty generic fucking character, to be honest, he looks like. Hope he's really interesting character-wise. I missed the platform twice in a row. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. We gotta kick the sad fucking face warning sign to trigger him. Also, I'm doing pretty good at dodging this, but I bet as soon as I fail, my next attempts will be really garbage. It's always like that. Alright, I think now the platform comes. There you go. I fucking did it. He's purple. It's the purple guy. Purple miner. It's the... I don't fucking know. I was trying to think of an old-timey name. I can't think of one. Oh, okay. Whatever. And... think about it. In Grand Theft Auto 4, at the end of it... I don't know if you could trace it back all the way to 4. But it seems like the writers at Rockstar, I don't know if... who's the writer? Sam Hauser, or is it Dak Hauser? One of them. One of them is the producer and the other one's a main writer for all the Grand Theft Auto games. And he seems to have recently been kind of into killing off his characters, because think about it. Red Dead 2 ends with Arthur dying. Red Dead 1 ends with John dying. Grand Theft Auto 5 ends with whichever one you choose dying, or none of them dying, which is, I think, just a, just a character-pleasing ending. I honestly think killing Trevor might be the best ending, because Trevor is the fucking root of all evil and all the fucking chaos that happens in GTA 5. If it wasn't for him, half of the fucking problems in the game you have wouldn't even happen. He sometimes causes you problems just because, like, when he pissed off all the Chinese gangsters and they kidnapped Michael and he fucking refused to do anything about it. That was fucked up. I don't think I would ever forgive anybody for that. Yeah, and what? So there seems to be a running theme of characters dying. I don't remember how Max Payne 3 ended. I don't know if anybody died in that. None of the DLCs to Grand Theft Auto 4 had anybody dying, even though Johnny does die in 5, but I think that was just for shock value. To establish Trevor as a fucking maniac. He decided to kill off a main character. Fuck him for that still, I still hate that so fucking much. And so they have a running theme of characters dying, and I think Grand Theft Auto 6 might actually feature a main protagonist's death, if not the both of them, irreversibly. Like, you're not gonna get a choice. Like, oh, do you want Lucia to die, or do you want Jason to die, or do you want them to live forever, happily ever after? I think they're gonna have to fucking die. And they're gonna do a Bonnie and Clyde type of story where they're like, I don't know, unlikely allies. Lucia seems to be some kind of Latin origin fucking gangster, while Jason seems to be a typical Florida man. Probably grew up on a swamp or some shit. Yeah, and I guess they're gonna run some kind of a drug empire together, and they're gonna fall in love. The unlikely love duo. It'd be weird if it was more than a duo, I guess. And yeah, that's my theory on Grand Theft Auto 6 story. I also recently heard some rumors about supposedly when Grand Theft Auto 6 is gonna come out, or at least when does it aim to come out. I haven't really looked into it much because honestly I just don't fucking feel like it or have time recently to be looking into video game leaks. I just don't give a shit. Like a year ago you would ask me something about a video game that haven't came out yet, I would fucking know ahead of time what characters are called, when's the game coming out, how's it gonna look, how's it gonna play. I knew fucking a year ahead what characters were gonna be in Borderlands 3. I just followed so many fucking sources for that. Most of them turned out true. Some of them were just like wild theories that I thought maybe could have some truth to them. I think I done it. I killed the miner. I'm a minor killer. At least not a major killer. I wanted to make a minor joke as in minors, you know, like underage people, but I couldn't think of anything that wasn't fucked up. Like I love fucking up minors. Me signing up for a mine so I can interact with miners, and now we're in the city where there's red lights. Commander Video doesn't like that. Fuck them lights. And this is the toughest episode. Next episode is gonna be 50 minutes, and the city level is just insanely fucking difficult. Jesus Christ, it was fucking awful. It's called Tenacity. It's in Tenacity, I guess. Anyways, see you fellas in the next episode. Bye.